So I'd like to encourage each speaker to make use of the word of the day. And also at the end of this meeting, I'll give a report when I'm called upon, and also report on the usage of the word of the day. Thank you very much. It's just a reminder for us to use those emojis online, and let's enjoy the meeting. Thank you very much. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Simply amazing, Diana. Thank you so much. Indeed, today is a day to ruminate on the records we have and are yet to break. Here at Toastmasters, every time the word of the day is used, please don't forget to snap your fingers to let the speaker know they did an excellent job remembering the word of the day. Given our digital setting, we can also use the thumbs up option or the hand clap emoji. Simply a kind reminder. Who will break the record of using the word of the day most? I can't wait to see. Now, time is the most valuable thing a man can spend, if spent wisely. Our next role taker will have her eyes glued to the clock as we break our records. Toastmaster Claire Businje, please tell us about your role this evening. The floor is yours, Toastmaster Claire.
Thank you. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and our dear guests. As a timer this evening, my role will be to time the table topic speakers, the prepared speeches, and to also time the evaluations. For each speaker, I will raise the yellow, green, and red cards to indicate the time that is remaining for the speakers. I will just raise those cards so that you can have a look. So for the green card, for the table topic speakers, I will raise the green card at 1 minute, and then I will raise the yellow card when you've used up 1 minute and 30 seconds, and then I will raise the red card when the 2 minutes are up. For the formal speeches, I will raise the green card at 5 minutes, and then I will raise the yellow card at 6 minutes, and then I will raise the red card at 7 minutes. And then for the icebreaker speeches, which have 4 to 6 minutes, I will raise the green card at 4 minutes, and then I will raise the yellow card at 5 minutes, and then raise the red card at 7 minutes. For the evaluators who have a total of 2 to 3 minutes each, at 2 minutes, I will raise the green card. At 2 minutes and 30 seconds, I will raise the yellow card. And then at 3 minutes, I will raise the red card. When I have raised the red card, all speakers have exactly 30 seconds to round off their speeches, to conclude their speeches. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Claire, for that. Last but not least is our general evaluator, Toastmaster Enoch Sentumbe. Please take the screen and tell us about your role this evening. Over to you.
Good evening, Toastmasters. I do apologize for not showing my video. I'm currently on the road, but I can go on to introduce my role. My name is Enoch Sentumbe. I'll be the general evaluator for this evening. And for all the guests, and maybe the Toastmasters that want to refresh on what that means, as the general evaluator, I will be the person in the background ruminating on the different goals, different sessions, different activities that we will be having during the club, during this meeting. I will be closely, let's say, evaluating different members not to tell us or to critique us in a negative way, but to give us feedback on how we excelled and also tell us the few areas that we can improve on. And later on, I'll be called on to call out the different role takers to give us the different reports and evaluations of the different speeches. And then after, I'll be able to hand over the meeting or hand over the meeting to the Toastmaster of the day. Over to you, the Toastmaster of the day.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have met my team and will meet even more as we proceed with our meeting. It is said that fear of public speaking is the most common phobia in the world, ahead of death, spiders, and heights. Terrifying, huh? Looks like some people would rather die, I mean, literally, than pick up the microphone to speak in front of a crowd. But here, Toastmasters, we learn to speak even with the fear. We go ahead and do it afraid. This brings us to our next segment of the meeting, where we get to listen to 3 amazing speakers who have prepared fantastic meetings for us this evening. Our first speaker for the evening is Toastmaster Nora Matovu. She'll be evaluated by Toastmaster Deborah Askiet. Deborah, please do tell us what you'll be looking for as Nora delivers her speech. To our guests here today, at Toastmasters, we not only learn to speak, but also learn how to give constructive feedback. So Deborah, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Hello, Nora. Let me just confirm that you're present. Are you? Toastmaster Nora? Is Toastmaster Nora present? Kindly confirm so I can speak to you.
SAA, is Nora on the call?
Yes, she is, and she's unmuted. I hope she's not having trouble getting her audio through. Nora, can you hear us?
Okay, should I?
But she's online.
Should I assume that Nora can listen to me or is hearing me and I go ahead? SAA?
Would need to push so that she can speak. Nora, can you hear us?
Absolutely.
Madam Toastmaster, as we try and sort out Nora's issue, I don't know if it's fine for us to proceed to speaker 2, if they're ready.
I would suggest that we proceed to speaker 2 until Nora can confirm that she is present and she can hear me.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day.
Okay, as Toastmaster Nora handles the audio on her end, we shall have our next speech, our second speech for the day. Our very own president, Toastmaster Shamim Nire, will be delivering a speech today. She'll be evaluated by Toastmaster Yassine Asimwe. Yassine, please let us know of what you will be looking out for in Shamim's speech today. The screen is yours.
I'll be evaluated by Joy.
Oh, okay. Joy Talemwa, I hope you're on the call. Please, could you let us know of what you'll be looking out for in Shamim's speech?
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the evening. My name is Joy, and as President Shamim presents, I will look out for, firstly, President is presenting a level 4 speech project 2. She will give a 2 to 3 minutes introduction and then a 5 to 10 minutes, we'll listen to a 5 to 10 minutes podcast. So our timer, please be aware of those 2 timing slots. The purpose of this project is for her to introduce the skills needed to present a podcast. And Shamim, as you mentioned to me, I'll look out for your pace. And at this level, I will look out for all the levels of competent speakers. I believe that you have prepared and are ready to do your choice. I also hope to see you demonstrate excellent speaking skills and allow us to ruminate on the topic that you present to us through your broadcast. Over to you, Shamim. Over to you, my dear.
I didn't know about, I did not know about the imposter syndrome until I read Sheryl Sandberg's book titled Lean In, which detailed the syndrome women face, the I am not good enough syndrome, the I am not good enough feeling. For so long, I suffered from that. I didn't even have a name for it until I remembered that if I keep quiet, if I'm not good enough, but I know something, then who is going to come and say this? Ladies and gentlemen, today, as an educator, I see that there's something so wrong with our education and parents can do something about it. So I wore my champion's hat and said, let me do it scared. And here I am, I decided to create a podcast that is going to communicate a topic that I'm passionate about, creating futures. We create futures for our children every day through how we communicate, through how we educate them. As a Toastmaster, I remember that we are encouraged to do it scared. Even as you listen to the podcast, fellow guests, fellow Toastmasters and guests on the call, I encourage you to wear the champion's hat and do it scared. What are you scared of doing? Face your fears and do it. At this point, I would like to share my podcast. Okay, I request to be timed afresh so that I can share my podcast with you. Hello and welcome to Creating Futures podcast. This is the podcast that is going to give you information about what can you do about preparing your child for their future, creating futures for your child, creating future opportunities for your young champions, learning how to transform their education so they can thrive in their future. Welcome to our space. This is a space for educators, for parents like you, and for everybody who is passionate about transforming their children's learning towards their future. Welcome to Creating Futures. I'm your host, Shamim Nidere, and along the way, we'll have so many other people joining our space. Feel at home. As a 15-year-old, I tried to help a little child do her mathematics exercise. I think it was like this 1 + 1 questions. I gave her the answer, and guess what? The child did not believe me. I tried to convince the child because I knew that was the right answer. They did not budge. Then later the child said, arms akimbo on her little waist. They said, you know what? Don't worry. I'll go and ask my teacher. My teacher will tell me the answer. And at that moment, the proverbial light bulb went off in my head. And I wondered, are teachers the smartest people there is? Because even I, the 15-year-old who was in Form 3 then, was looking forward to asking the teacher in case I have a hard challenge. Even the senior 6 students at my school would end up going to ask the teacher if they didn't know something. Even at university, students look at the lecturers, they look up to them sometimes to clarify their answers. So yes, it hit me that teachers are the smartest people, and I wanted to be a teacher ever since. Hi, my name is Shamim Nirere, and I'm a very passionate educator. I dream of a future where children from Africa will be able to confidently and competently sit on global tables to solve world challenges and transform their communities. I want to realize this dream through quality 21st century education. Quality, but also equitable education. Quality in today's world. What does that quality look like? Okay, so I chose education as the only course at university. Yet, as a teenager, I used to read so many of John Grisham's books. I can proudly say that I'd read over 5 books of John Grisham as a teenager. Legal thrillers. In fact, everybody in my circles thought I would end up in law school. Yeah, I loved law jargon. I knew all those stories and I loved them so much. But I still held on to the other dream of being a teacher. Recently, I watched a TEDx talk that was titled, "I love teaching so much I quit." I thought this quote is weird. I love teaching so much I quit. If you love teaching so much, why would you quit? But this later, looking in hindsight right now, I feel like this really speaks to my heart. I love teaching so much. I quit the classroom. I left the classroom to try and fix some of the things that are not right with my education. With our education, with the education, we keep saying it needs to change. I was only 2 years old in the classroom, and I really loved it. I loved how much the teachers influence children, how much a teacher can transform a child, how much enjoyment that comes when a young person learns something. Yeah. So for me, it did not matter to me if an 18-year-old senior 6 student or senior 5 student in my class was scoring the best grades. I didn't mind even if you're scoring 90. If they couldn't look me in the eye to speak, to communicate well, to articulate their thoughts, that to me was a problem. I wasn't comfortable letting them go with poor communication skills that had been compensated by the great score. Yeah. So for me, I felt like, yes, teachers have the opportunity to transform a child, a young person, but we can do more. We can really do much more. Yes. So right now, I'm a team leader at Izere Education. Izere Education is a social business that is trying to change the face of education in Africa by empowering today's child with 21st century skills. We all agree that the tides have changed. The world has changed. It has been disrupted. So the skills today's child needs is not the skills we needed, or the world we are preparing for our children is not a world that exists today. So what do we do?
Thank you very much. I'll just pause from there, but it is continuous. And I'd like to hand over to our Toastmaster of the evening. Over to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Wow, 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 wow. What a record-breaking podcast that was. Thank you, Toastmaster Shamim, for sharing your passion for teaching and nurturing the younger generation. I have been told that Toastmaster Nora Matuvu is now ready to deliver her speech. So I will now invite Toastmaster Deborah Asikiet to please tell us what you expect of Nora as she delivers her speech this evening, and thereafter, Nora will take the screen. Thank you. Over to you, Deborah.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day. I am very, very happy to introduce to you Toastmaster Nora Matovu-Winyi, who needs no introduction, in fact, since she's the one who introduced Toastmasters into the country. And so it's an honor for me to introduce you, Nora. Nora will be presenting a speech. Level 1, Project 3, which is a research project. Nora, the purpose of this speech is for you to review basic research methods and present a well-organized, well-researched speech on any topic of your choice. I do expect that you will select a topic that you're not already familiar with and that you wish to learn about. I also expect that you will ensure the topic is narrow enough to fit within 5 to 7 minutes, that it will be very well researched. At the end of the 5 to 7 minutes, I'll be able to give you feedback when called upon. The title of the speech is Living Above the Water. Living Above the Water, Toastmaster Nora Winyamatovu. Over to you, Nora.
Thank you very much, Brenda. On the 18th of June, 2021, the President of the Republic of Uganda addressed the nation and declared a 42-day lockdown. Of course, as you are all aware, this was one of the measures intended to curb the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic. It might sound very familiar to you because in the last 15 months, this is something which has become rhetorical in almost all our spaces of work, at home, and whatever. This event took us by surprise. And we ended up experiencing cries from all kinds of people addressed to the government and of course other well-wishers. It became a sing-song. Please help us. We are drowning. We are dying. We have no food. I witnessed suffering. I witnessed many people who had no food, neighbors, friends. I had a special hire driver who could not feed his family. My hairdressers were also calling me. Teachers of my nieces and nephews were crying the same thing. And I wondered, what is going on here? How can we allow ourselves to live above the waters? I'm certain that each one of us has been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. However, what has preoccupied my mind during this second lockdown is how can we minimize the effects of unexpected occurrences, because these happen in our lives at different times. And it could be a sickness, it could be a loss of a husband, it could be anything that might affect you. How do you navigate that situation? So first, I looked at the statistics of Uganda in relation to the caseload of COVID-19. Of course, this has changed over time, but by the 12th of August, 2021, Uganda overall had 96,224 confirmed cases. And this was reported by the World Health Organization. In total, the same organization has received information from our government that 2,821 deaths have been reported as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. When I compare that with the UBOS statistics, the population of Uganda is about 45 million people. And that is according to the statistics report of UBOS, that is Uganda Bureau of Statistics of 2019. That means only 100,000 people in Uganda, according to the World Health Organization statistics, have been affected directly by the COVID-19 or the coronavirus. And this is only 0.22% of our population. And I had also looked at those who have gone for the vaccination. It is only 1,123,000 thereabouts who have received the vaccination. That is approximately only 2.496% of the population. However, the government is aiming to have at least 60% of the population vaccinated. So the key question for me is we do not know how long this pandemic is going to last. So how do we master the art of swimming and living above the waters? Because when you look at the statistics, it's only 0.22% directly affected, but all of us have been affected by the economic lockdown. And one of the things which happened is I used to go every morning very confidently to my law firm, and I opened the door and clients would come in and they pay money. On the 25th of March, 2020, I could not drive from my home in the Mirembe to go and open that door of the law firm. And soon the income through that stream dwindled. This sent me to think, how do I live above the waters, whether it is in good times or challenging times? So what I did was to sit and reflect, especially in these last 42 days. And I reflected on the time when I sat in the hospital bed in Nairobi in 2010. And I noted that time that if I was to remain sick for another 1 month, I will finish all my savings and I will not be able to sustain my family. After that sickness and getting back on my feet, I have never looked back to ensure that I can live above the waters. And some of the things which I have explored in these last about 52 days is what I want to share with you. The Toastmasters and guests, we cannot only be crafters of words. We must be people who can generate income through different income streams. If my law firm door is locked up, how else can I survive? And these are three things that each one of us must do. One, you have to sit and think about three things that you are passionate about and commit yourself to turn them into work that can generate income. Passion drives you. You wake up in the morning without an excuse to do your work. One is one stream, you look for the second one, and you look for the third one. You can do them concurrently, or one helps you to build the other. What I have done is exactly the second way. One has helped me to build the other. Second, you need a lot of discipline. Many of us, especially the educated class, we tend to be busybodies and we do not take time to illuminate on what can enable us to generate income using the education, the knowledge, the networks that we have. So discipline is the second thing. And finally, interact with like-minded persons. That is the reason why I have remained active in Toastmasters, because there are people who are self-motivated and together we can be able to live above the waters. Madam Toastmaster, back to you.
Wow, wow, wow. Earlier during the meeting, Brenda took us through how to clap our hands virtually. Please let us put those hands to use and clap for Nora Matovu. Thank you so much for the amazing speech. We have learned three things: to have more than one stream of income, have personal discipline, and to interact with like-minded people. Thank you so much for your encouraging speech. Our last speech for the evening is by the lovely Toastmaster Harriet Ositi. Harriet will be evaluated by Toastmaster Yassine Asimwe. Yassine, please do tell us of what you will be looking out for today in Harriet's speech. Over to you, Yassine.
Yassine, kindly unmute. Yassine, kindly unmute.
Oh, I was on mute. Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster of the evening. Fellow Toastmasters and the guests, I'm excited to introduce and to be the evaluator of Harriet Ositi, who will be undertaking her Level 3, Project 1 under Effective Coaching Pathway. The purpose of this speech is for the speaker to present a well-organized speech about her experience leading an organization towards a consensus. The speech duration is 5 to 7 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming Harriet Ositi, Assessors, Mentors, Projects. Assessors, Mentors, Project. Harriet Ositi, over to you.
Thank you so much, my evaluator. Win-win is a frame of mind and heart that seeks to continually look for mutual benefit. This quote is by Steve Covey as he tries to explain how habit 4 in his 7 habits of highly effective people, the habit of win-win. The habit of win-win has the mindset that there is room for everybody on this boat of life. This habit sets a record that there is always enough pie to go around. We don't have to fight over it. I am the executive director at the Institute for National Transformation. And at the Institute, we welcome leaders who'd love to make transformation very visible in their spheres of influence. The kind of leaders who no longer say, government etuyambe, which means government help us, but take responsibility for the challenges around them. Therefore, one of the deliverables after the 6 months course is that they will have to have penned down a project that they commit to implement after they've left the course. In a study in 2016, we found that most of the projects that had been written by the participants were not being implemented. We have over 500 alumni. So what was the problem? This had become quite an issue and quite a concern. And therefore, as the executive director, I called the assessors and the faculty to come and discuss this problem. At that meeting, or even before the meeting, we had to decide when we would meet. We are right now in a virtual space, and therefore, it was possible for us to meet over Zoom. I am an early riser. I love to have my meetings at 6 a.m. And therefore, I propose that we have this meeting at 6 a.m. on a Tuesday. Before long, I began to get responses through my WhatsApp saying, 6 a.m.? Who wakes up at that time to have a meeting? I will not be present. That came from one of the assessors. Another faculty member said, that is the time when I have my exercise routine. I cannot attend. Though there were 2 others who were so enthusiastic and could even have joined the meeting at 5:30. I knew I needed to find a consensus on our meeting time. After discussing with them, I realized the habit of win-win needed to come into play. And therefore, at the end of our discussion on phone, we decided we'd have 2 meetings, one at 6 a.m. and one at 6 p.m. on that Tuesday, which I would attend both. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, I can say that both meetings did happen. At those meetings, we were discussing the projects, like I mentioned before, and asking ourselves, what is the problem? One of the members at the meeting kept saying, the fault is yours, Harriet. You don't let us know when these projects are actually supposed to be implemented. Another said, no, it's not her fault. It's the curriculum. It's the founders who didn't actually put the different aspects of project planning to help these students actually implement their projects. Another, who's very skilled at project planning, insisted she needed to be part of the faculty to make sure that these projects actually take place. You can imagine what we were going through as we kept going back and forth, many going through with the blame game of what the problem was. Again, I realized I then needed to engage habit 5, which is seek to understand before you are understood. Together with the habit 4 of win-win, we were able to come to a consensus that the problem wasn't with any single one of us. The actual problem seemed to be with the word assessor. Assessor meant that we were like headmistresses or headmasters having a stick over our participants and just causing them to do their projects in partial fulfillment of the regulations at the Institute for National Transformation. We then decided consensusly to agree to call ourselves mentors. When I ruminate over that meeting, I realized that having a place where you're able to understand each participant, bring out their ideas, receive feedback without getting emotionally shaken up is a great way to get consensus at a meeting. I have learned that at the end of the day, in any meeting, in any group, everybody has a part to play. And as a leader of any meeting, my job is to make sure that every single idea put onto the plate gives me a fantastic meal that I can enjoy and can benefit all the stakeholders in that particular issue. You want to be able to reach consensus? Adopt the habit 4 of win-win. Adopt habit 5 of seeking first to understand before you're understood. And you can be sure that you will have meetings that always come to a place of consensus. Back to you, evaluate Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Harriet, for amazing speech. So much learned from your speech, adapting win-win situations and a lot more. Thank you very much. What a record-breaking meeting this is. My heart beats with so much excitement. Sadly, that was our last speech. I'd like us to take 1 minute to vote for our best speaker of the evening. Please do submit your votes through the poll that will be put up by our sergeant arms. Please submit your polls. I will repeat the speakers of the day in order of presentation. We had Shamim Nirere. We then had Nora Matovu, and third, Harriet Ositi. Please do submit your votes. This exercise will take 1 minute. Thirty more seconds. Please do submit your votes of your best speaker. There we go. Okay, great. And the voting session has now come to an end. Thank you all for casting votes. Thank you all very much. We would now like to move on to our next segment of the program, the table topics session. I previously mentioned to you all that the fear of public speaking is ranked higher than that of death. Please step aside from any cliffs you are standing at and be ready for this exciting session. Toastmaster KZ Katabara, please do take the screen and tell us about your role and lead us through our next session of the meeting. Thank you very much. Over to you, KZ. Toastmaster KZ, are you there?
Toastmaster Kezi, you're muted. Table Topics Master Kezi, you are muted. Kindly unmute. The floor is yours. Madam Toastmaster, we're waiting for Kezi, our Table Topics Master, to unmute. She could be having some difficulties. Oh, there she is.
Here. Good evening, Kampala Toastmasters, visiting Toastmasters, and our distinguished guests. We have reached the section for the table topics of today with our fantastic theme, which is breaking the record. And I hope that you are all on your toes and ready to break some records today. So table topics is basically to help us get out of our shells and learn how to speak on the spot without being prepared. So I'm going to call on people randomly, and hopefully we do have some volunteers to speak about some pre-selected subjects and topics that I have for you. You have between 1 minute and 2 minutes to speak your piece about the topic given. Please remember that our word of the day is ruminate, which means to think deeply about something. If you can, try and use it. And without further ado, let's go along. The timekeeper will flash the cards. At 1 minute, there'll be a yellow card. At 1 minute and 30 seconds, 1 minute, a green card. 1 minute and 30 seconds will be a yellow card. And then at 2 minutes will be a red card. So try and keep within the time. And without further ado, do we have any volunteers? If there's a volunteer, could you kindly just put your hand up in the chat so I can put your hand up so I can see. We need some brave souls for this. Let's record breakers, put your hands up. Anyone who has the will to be a record breaker, put your
we
hand
have very many hands up. The first one I saw that shot up was from Komani Toastmasters. That's Toastmaster Mukasana.
Oh, thank you so much for the help. So Komani, how are you this evening?
I am doing good, and how are you?
Great. Are you ready?
You're never ready for this.
Okay, let's go. Let's go. So people can be superstitious, and some superstitions are a bit peculiar. In Uganda, people don't like cats in general. They generally don't have a good reputation in Uganda. However, there's a new association. We're using our imaginations, and this new association has hired a PRO, a public relations officer, and that's you. So you have 1 to 2 minutes to tell us about why cats are actually not that bad. And the name of the new association is Kappa's United Association. We are breaking records and we are defending cats that have never been defended before. And start.
Let us ruminate about this for a moment. You grew up having fears. You were so afraid of some things, afraid even to walk. But you outgrew that. Then as you grew up, there were other challenges. At school, when you started your workplace, you still fear this thing. Ruminate about that. Go back to your past. Now, we have cats. We fear them. We have been told stories about them, especially the black ones. Don't you think they stand a chance? Think about it. They are just cats. Maybe we do not know much about them. Think of a cat. Adopt it. Give it a name. Learn what it likes to do. Learn what does it not like. In this day of social media and Google, you can even research Like, doesn't it surprise you that however you throw them, they land on their feet? Imagine if every time you faced your problem, you would land on your feet, just like a cat, landing on your feet on all your problems. Ruminate about this. Ruminate about the future of pets. Ruminate about the future of our nation, an inclusive nation, even to animals. I call upon you, fellow Ugandans. Let's give our cats a chance. Madam Table Topics
Master. Awesome. Thank you so much, Komani. So, the table topics number 2. Who is ready to do a record-breaking little mini speech? Can I have, okay, so volunteers, your hands are still up, so I'm going to pick somebody whose hands are still up. Oh, the hands went down. Okay. Could we have Edward? There's no second name. Edward?
Yes, please.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Madam Toastmaster.
Okay, so let's get straight into
table topics, sorry.
Table topics. You have returned to Uganda with an Olympic gold medal. You have broken a record. You are in front of 500 teenagers from your grandparents' home village. And you are talking to inspire them about breaking records. What is it that you will tell these 500 teenagers in your grandfather's hometown? Let us know.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure and a privilege to stand before you here today in this podium. I thank God for giving me this chance and to have enabled me to win this Olympic gold medal. It has not been easy. It has taken a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, a lot of prayers. It has not been easy. First of all, it's a dream come true for me. And according to John Maxwell, in his book, Put Your Dream to the Test, he talks about some of the things that you need to do for you to achieve your dreams. And one of the things that is mostly speaks about is the cost that you have to pay. So for you to achieve your dreams, these are costs that you have to pay. For me, I had to wake up very early, I have to eat right, I have to exercise, I have to work with my coach. That is the cost that I had to pay. So for each and every one of you, whatever your dream it is, these are costs that you need to pay. And you are able to make it. Whatever dream that you have, no man or no woman is limited. So go out there, break your own record, believe in yourself, believe in the system, work hard, be dedicated, be determined in whatever that you want to achieve. And believe you me, you'll be able to achieve it. Thank you, and back to you, Madam Table Topics Master.
Oh, thank you so much, Edward. That was fantastic. So moving along swiftly to the third topic of the day is, can everybody listening please look in the room you're in, don't move anywhere, just look around you in the room you're in and look at your favorite thing. Identify something you like in the room that you're in. After you have identified it, could you please tell us, share with us why you like it and what it means to you? And I am now going to randomly pick a person. Wanjiru, is Wanjiru? on the call still?
Topics Master, yes, I am on the call.
Hello, could you please let us know in the room that you're sitting in, and if it's movable, can you show us the item that means something to you and tell us why it means something to you?
You will forgive me, I will not be able to put on my camera, but I will try and describe it as best as I can.
No problem.
In the room I'm in, the most beautiful thing that is in this room today is a picture of my late daughter. We have a series of 3 pictures that are framed to celebrate her on her first birthday. She had a piece of chicken bone in her hand and she was smiling like you wouldn't believe it. So it's a successive 3 pictures with this little girl smiling her heart out, holding onto a chicken bone. I tell you, I tried to get it away from her, but I could not. Over the years, because she would have been 10 years this year in 2021, this picture is so heartwarming because it is one of the special memories I have of her. I don't move it around, but I make sure that from wherever I'm sitting in this room, it is in view. And that is the special thing that is in my room. Back to you, Table Topics Master.
Wanjiru, thank you so much for sharing with us. We really appreciate it. If I may ask, what was your daughter's name?
Her name was Mudhoni, but we called her Noni.
No. Mudhoni. Okay, I'm going to make a request that everybody after today's meeting says a prayer up to Noni, and we come together in a lost child of ours and just send her love and peace and send her family happiness and healing. So the 4th question I have, thank you so much, Wanjiru. The 4th table topics for today. Are you ready? I don't know if Ugandans remember Kwepena. I need a Kwepena record breaker. The Kwepena masters, just put your hand up in that chat and I see you. Kwepena. Oh, in translation, it's dodgeball. Who in Uganda remembers playing Kwepena? We need the Kwepena masters. Okay. So, to the Kwepena record breakers, could you please tell us in the heat of the moment of the game, just explain to us what was happening in that moment, in the heat of the moment. And I will see the hands that are up. And could Harriet please tell us about being the Kwepena queen?
Sorry for interrupting Table Topics Master. Just to let you know that your time is up. Kindly wrap up.
Okay. So Harriet, make it, if you can, make it 1 minute and we finish.
Okay, in the heat of the moment of Kwepena, when that ball came right at me, the only thing I could think of at that moment is to jump as high as I could to make sure I was not caught out. Being a tall young lady, you can be sure, even if I was in a skirt, my legs went flying in the air. Back to your table topics.
Thank you, Harriet. And you really told us exactly what was happening at the heat of the moment. Back over to you, Toastmaster of the day. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Kezi Katabara, for leading us through that exciting session. I believe everyone is still on the call in one piece. Please do check on your neighbors there and see if their hearts are still in place. Here at Toastmasters, we also learn how to think on our feet. And I believe this has been made clear to all our guests. So we hope to have you join us as soon as possible. During this session, we have created a Kappa Association. We have won gold medals, and we have shared beautiful memories with Noni, and also played Kwepena. What an exciting session it has been. Table Topics Master, please do remind us of the speakers of the evening so that everyone can vote for their best table topics speaker. The poll will be put up by our Sergeant at Arms, so please do remind us of the speakers of the evening. Thank you. Over to you, Kezi.
Sure. Okay, thank you so much. The first speaker was Komani, who was telling us he was a PRO for the Kappa Association of Uganda, and he represented them very well. And then we had Edward, was the second speaker, and he was telling us about telling the teenagers in his grandparents' village about how it feels and inspiring them how to break records as an Olympic gold medalist winner. Then we had number 3, Wanjiru, and Wanjiru spoke about an item in her room, which was her late daughter's photo. A picture of a series of 3 pictures of her late daughter. The memories that the picture brings of love and happiness. And then we had the speaker number 4, Harriet, and she was the Kwepena record breaker. And she told us what it was to jump and dodge the ball despite being tall and wearing skirts. So Komani, then Edward, then Wanjiru, and then Harriet.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Kezi. Thank you. Toastmaster Brenda, able to polls now so that we can vote for our best table topics speaker.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. Jessie, are we able to launch the polls now, or can I take a private poll vote?
I was running it, but check and see if it should be available now.
I can't see it, Jessie. If you can just launch it, that will be fine with me.
Oh, okay. Okay, what I will do, perhaps TMOD, you could carry on. Let me just do it again. I had done it, but let me do it again in the meeting.
Oh, okay. So we shall carry.
Should be there now. Yeah.
Yes, it is. Okay.
So the first speaker was not Komani. His name was Luke Solo, though he's from Komani Toastmasters.
Thank you for that, Toastmaster Jesse. So everyone, please submit your votes for the best table topics speaker of the evening. We have 1 minute to submit our votes. So please do submit your vote. 30 more seconds left. Please do submit your votes. Okay, there we go. Thank you all for voting for your best table topic speaker. And thank you all to the brave soldiers who took it upon themselves to volunteer for the table topic session. It was really exciting. It was such an amazing session. So next we're going to have a 5 minutes break to just stretch and get ourselves together. And during this break, we're going to play a game in case you thought the impromptu randomly to pick up on anyone randomly in the chat or in the participants category over there, and request you to name 5 things under the category that I will mention. Okay, so just to give you an example, if I pick Patricia and I tell her that her topic is car brands, within 30 seconds, she is to tell me 5 car brands from the top of her head. So ideally she would name Toyota, Ford, Kia, Suzuki, and Lexus in 30 seconds. So I hope you are all ready for this. Get ready. And I'm going to start on people right now. Please don't leave the meeting. Please do not hide away. Please do not. Looking through. Okay. We shall have Michael Fauster. Are you there, Michael?
Yes, yes.
Hi, Michael Fauster. I'm listening to a female voice. I was
Yes, it
expecting a
is.
gentleman. Okay.
Sorry to disappoint you.
Okay, Michael Foster, your topic is fruits. Please name 5 fruits off the top of your head in 30 seconds, starting now.
Banana, pineapple, mango, watermelon, apple.
Ah, amazing. You nailed it. Thank you very much, the she Michael Fauster. Thank you very much. We shall now be moving on to our next participant. I hope you are all ready. Let us have Samson Ozu. Samson Ozu, are you there?
Yes, I am there, but I joined late. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Samson. It's okay. Right now, we are playing a game whereby I give you a topic and you are to name 5 things under that topic in 30 seconds. Okay? All right. So your topic is mobile phone brands. Starting now.
Samsung, Apple, Nokia, Alcatel, and Xiaomi.
Okay, that's amazing. Thank you, Samson. That was very quick. Amazing. Okay, thank you. Next, we shall have Lucy Kafusi. Are you there, Lucy? It's your turn, Lucy. Lucy, are you there? Okay, so we shall try someone else. Florence Namaganda, are you there? Florence, are you able to speak? Oh no. Okay, let us try someone else. Timothy Kavuma, are you able to speak?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So your topic is mountains. Please name 5 mountains in 30 seconds. Let's see your geography. 5 mountains starting now.
Mohavura, Elgon, Everest, Kilimanjaro, and I believe Makerere.
Makerere. Are you sure, Makerere?
Well, those who were Baganda used to call it a kasozi, which translates into a mountain.
The audience is in laughter right now. Okay, Timothy, we'll have just one last person take up this. One last person. Let's see who it's going to be. Okay, let me look through. Okay, is Florence able to speak now? Florence, are you able to speak? No? Okay, let's have Simon then. Simon, please unmute. Simon with a CY.
Yes, hello.
Hi, Simon. Hi. How are you doing today?
Awesome.
Okay, so please name 5 birds in 30 seconds. 5 birds, starting now.
Pigeon, eagle, hen, hawk.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Vulture. I think those are 5, right?
Yes, they are. Thank you, Simon. Great job. Thank you very much, everyone who has participated in this. I'm so glad we've had an exciting short break. However, we have to carry on because of time. Yes. So moving on to our next segment of the meeting, I would now like to hand over to our general evaluator, Toastmaster Enoch Sentumbwe to take us through the next session, where we will listen to reports by evaluators and also the different role takers of the day. Over to you, Toastmaster Enoch. SAA is Toastmaster Enoch on the call?
Yes, he is, and he is unmuted. Unfortunately, we can't hear you, Enoch. Can you please try that again? He is unmuted. He is speaking, I think, but we can't hear him.
Yes. Okay, I'll put the earphones aside. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear, Enoch. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. For all the different guests, all the Toastmasters that missed the introduction, I am the general evaluator for today, and as the general evaluator, I'll be giving a report of how well we did and some of the areas of improvement, but then again, call for some of the reports that we're about to listen to. We're going to start with the evaluations of the 3 speeches that we had today. The first speaker that we had was Shamim Nirere, and I would like to call upon the evaluator of Shamim Nirere, that is Joy Talemwa, to give her evaluation. Over to you, Joy.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator. Allow me to keep my video off to avoid any internet interruptions. Toastmasters and guests, the hallmark of a good podcast is to have the listener listen, understand your message, and pass it on to whoever they meet to discuss what they learned. And this is a quote by Robert Gerish. And Toastmaster Shamim, your speech allowed me to get a message, and it also allowed me to ruminate about the education system and how each of us has a role to play in ameliorating it. Shamim, what did I love about your presentation or your podcast? The first I loved was what you asked me to look out for, your pace. You excellently handled your pace in your podcast. The second thing I loved was your use of personal stories. In your podcast, you weaved personal stories in. You took me back to my teenage ages in high school as a 15-year-old, admiring my teacher. And this is exactly what the power of storytelling does. It enables us to connect with your speech. What would I recommend that you would improve, Shamim? I would recommend working on your structure. At a point, you told us about your vision of seeing children sit at a global platform, the link between quality versus equity, and the opportunity for us to train young people to have the 21st century skills. What an excellent way of introducing your podcast, because that helps you start your podcast with oomph and with verve. And having it in the middle, I felt if somebody was tuning in and they didn't hear that, maybe they would move on to another podcast. So I felt that was the gist, that was the heart of your podcast. And then as we were getting into the gist, listening, you stopped it. We wanted to listen to more. I didn't even see a link on the chat, so that would be my recommendation. Possibly if you're unable to play the whole length of the podcast, put it in the chat. And if you choose to stop at a particular point, ensure that you stop at a place that is a conclusion, so that we are able to transition with you to the end, because I felt it was a bit abrupt. Timer, how much time did Shamim use as she presented? I don't think I received that. But as you tell me that, Shamim, I loved your topic. I loved your message. I loved that you stood as you presented your introduction. That is very important in presentation. And if we are able to just work on the structure, I look forward to listening to a second episode. If there is one, that would be a good way to challenge yourself. But I haven't received the report of the timing, but I think you are within time. And thank you very much for sharing your passion with us. Over to you, our General Evaluator Enoch.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Joy, for that incredible evaluation. On to our second evaluation of the day. Our second evaluator will be evaluating none other than Toastmaster Nora Namatovu, and that is Deborah Asiket. Deborah Asiket, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator Enoch. And once again, I'm very, very privileged to evaluate Toastmaster Nora. I will not turn on my video because I'm in a relatively dark place, and kindly bear with me as I share this feedback verbally without the video on. Nora, what a speech. Not only inspiring, but actually calling us to action. I enjoyed listening to your speech, and you excelled because the speech had a structure. You started by giving us the background, which is the call by the president on COVID restrictions. And then you went on to tell us what effect that had on the people that you knew within your neighborhood and outside that. And then you also went ahead to delve into how it affected you as an individual. And finally, you actually called us to action. So the structure of your speech was spot on. You had an introduction, you had a body, you had a conclusion. You also had very solid statistics. Your project was about research. You gave us statistics from UBOS, you gave us statistics from World Health Organization, and you went over and above that to actually analyze what these figures meant. And you gave us the direct percentages. I actually had a chance to Google them up, and they're absolutely accurate. Not that I doubted you. I just want to make sure that my feedback was spot on as well. So yeah, you, for example, analyzed and said only about 2.2% of the population has been vaccinated, and almost an equivalent or less number, 0.02 actually, has been affected. So what was the correlation between the two? You left us to make the mathematics, so to say. But I thought that was very analysis of the research. Also, the topic was not very familiar to you. I know that you're a lawyer, and to talk about COVID as a lawyer, that's a new topic to you. So I think it was a topic of interest to everybody who was present. And then you also excelled in rich vocabulary, rhetorical, used words like rhetorical, sing-song, call to action. That was very rich from your speech. What would you improve? What would I like to see more of from your speech? Your lighting and visibility generally could have been better. You were standing, which was good, but because the camera was maybe slightly wrongly positioned, we missed all the verbal expressions from your side. So I would suggest that for the next time, you could actually practice your position in before the camera, before you come and make your speech. So that was one element I suggest that you improve on. And the other one is around the sources of your data. I know that you quoted, for example, the UBOS 2019 report, but it would be best if you could actually complete the entire quotation. When you refer to World Health Organization giving a statistic, which particular report is that, or which particular policy brief is that? So I think that would enrich your speech even better. And what would you do to even challenge yourself? I think you could use some props in your next presentation that would enrich your speech even better. Otherwise, you concluded very well with a call to action for us. You gave us 3 key points: to identify alternative income streams, to observe discipline, but also to interact with like-minded people. I look forward to your next speeches. Well done, well done. I truly, truly enjoyed your speech. Thank you so much, Nora. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Deborah Asiket, for that actionable feedback or evaluation. You will have to forgive me that the electricity has gone off, so I'm in the dark. I'll like to call on the final evaluator of the third evaluator, that is Toastmaster Yasin Asimwe, evaluating the IPP Harriet City. Toastmaster Yasin Asimwe, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator Enoch. Apologies, I'm facing the same issue. Power is off. Harriet, so I will not be able to show my video. Harriet, I really enjoyed listening to your speech. You did a very great job. You kept the audience engaged. That was a wonderful job. As leaders, we all know it is not always common for all team members to agree on particular decision at once, be it at home, be it at our workplace. To quote Nelson Mandela, team leaders always see impossible, always see everything to be impossible until it's done. Harriet Ositi, in her speech, showed us that we can always break that barrier by creating a win-win situation. I loved the fact that you shared some tips on how we can create a consensus to bring all people to agree by not reacting, by first seeking to understand the issue at hand, gathering information and idea, and most importantly, being objective, and then blending the information received to make a decision. Thank you for those tips. I really enjoyed, and I've learned that. Harriet, you excelled in displaying the basics of a competent speaker and a leader. And I believe you achieved the purpose of this project. However, just like any other Toastmasters, there is always a room for improvement. What I think you would have done better. Harriet, you presented your speech while seated. I believe you can improve, you can add on more ingredients in your presentation by standing up. You know, when you stand up, that posture always creates command, gives you power, and brings in more confidence for people to follow you. I believe that's all. And I'll be happy to see you progressing on with your next project. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Evaluator Yasin Asimwe. And surely all that valuable feedback will be put into action by our speaker, that is none other than IPP Harriet Asimwe. I think it is time for us to vote for our best evaluator of the three that we had, that is Toastmaster Yasin Asimwe. We had evaluator Joy Talemwa and also Deborah Asike. I would like to take about a minute to vote for our better evaluator. That is for the Toastmasters. And for the guests, well, when you become a Toastmaster, this will also be your right. You will also be allowed to vote. But as for now, let's let the Toastmasters to vote. All right. Okay. Maybe it is time for me to, for the next part of the evaluations, that is, we're going to be receiving different reports from the role takers that you heard about, that is the timer, the accounter, and the grammarian. For the time, I would like to call upon the timer, that is Toastmaster Claire Businje, to give her report on how well we did for next time. Toastmaster Claire Businje, the floor is yours.
Thank you, General Evaluator. I will start by apologizing. I missed some of the evaluators' sessions because I lost power and I had to reconnect. So I will call on my colleagues to help me with that one. But I will start with the formal speeches. For speaker number 1, Shamim Nirere, she took 2 minutes and 30 seconds for her introduction, which was within time. And then for her podcast, she took 6 minutes and 33 seconds, which was also within time. For speaker number 2, Nora Matovu, she took 7 minutes and 20 seconds, which was beyond time, which was 20 seconds beyond time. And for speaker number 3, Harriet Ositi, she took 6 minutes and 58 seconds, which was within time. On the table topics, Toastmaster Lukoso, I apologize for the pronunciation of your name. He took 1 minute and 47 seconds, which was within time. Edward, the second table topic speaker, took 1 minute and 40 seconds. Wanjiru, the third table topic speaker, took 1 minute and 2 seconds. Harriet took, who was the fourth table topic speaker, Harriet Ositi, took 40 seconds. For the general evaluators, I only managed to get the time for Joy Talemwa, which was, I'm not sure how long she spoke after me, but I think it's about, it was 3 minutes and 25 seconds. And then Deborah, evaluator Deborah Asiket, took 3 minutes and 25 seconds. I am not certain about Yasin's time. Sorry about that. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Claire Vasinje. Even with those challenges, you managed to give us a very, very good report regarding time. And for the ones that were not recorded, I believe that were within time. I hopefully believe that you were within time when giving your speeches and also the table topics. For our next report, would like to hear from the grammarian of this evening, who is none other than Diana Akulu. Toastmaster Diana Akulu, the floor is yours.
Kindly unmute Diana. Diana, you are muted.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize I was muted. Sorry. Thank you very much, General Evaluator. As the grammarian for the day, I'm here to present to you my reports. I would start by thanking you all for making use of the word of the day. I was really happy when people kept using the word ruminate. So thank you very much. In total, the word of the day has been used 14 times in this meeting. And the top 3 users of this word are, 1, we have Luxolo, the table topic speaker, Luxolo from Komani. He used the word of the day 5 times. Well done, well done, well done. Followed by, we have our Sergeant at Arms, Brenda Picho. You used the word ruminate 3 times. Well done. And third is our evaluator, Joy Talemwa. You use the word ruminate twice in your speech. Well done, well done, well done for that. So I would like to go to the use. Like I said, I'll be looking out for some unique words and interesting quotes while you are speaking, the different people are speaking. So I like the use, the Toastmaster of the day. I like the way she has been speaking with life. Each time I look at her speak, I just find myself smiling unconditionally. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Patricia. I like the phrase that you use, that people have a phobia for speaking. I like the use of the word phobia. Thank you very much. And also you use the quote in your speech where a word where you say the fear of public speaking is greater than the fear of death. I think that is something worth noting and something to look out for. We had Toastmaster Shamim, our president. She used an interesting phrase of wear a champion's hat. Sometimes you have to wear different hats, and she made use of that phrase, which is good. Keep it up, President Shamim. We also had Speaker Nora Matovu, who talked about rhetoric. She used the term rhetoric when she was speaking about the lockdown. Keep it up, I like the use of the word. Speaker Harriet talked about, she used the phrase to say that there is enough pie to go around. When she was talking about the book, The Habits, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, she was talking about the habit of win-win. You see that you don't have to fight over something, but there is enough pie for everybody to go around. And finally, another good point that I liked was Evaluator Joy Talema. She used the term hallmark. She said the hallmark of a good speech. So I like the word hallmark because it's a unique term that is not always often used. Thank you very much for that. So areas of improvement or where we can improve, we had some improper use of words. I'll not mention the names, I'll just mention the things that were said. We had one of the speakers or one of our evaluators who said, fellow Toastmasters and the guests. I would suggest that you use fellow Toastmasters and guests because you're directly addressing them. You're not indirectly talking about them, but we are speaking to one another. So it's better to say fellow Toastmasters and guests. That way you're speaking directly to us. Then we had one of the speakers who said, ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure that I stand before you. This person said it in his speech. So it is not right to say it is my great pleasure that I stand before you, so because that is a repetition. It is better to say, ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure that I am here standing before you. And finally, we had one of the speakers who said, who used this phrase improperly, that he used the phrase of, that is the cost that I had to pay. It's wrong to say that is the cost that I had to pay. I think I would suggest that you would say, that is the price that I had to pay for A, B, C, and D. Otherwise, there ends my report. Thank you very much. It's been a wonderful session. I like the use of grammar. I like the way we've used the word of the day. So let's keep it up. Let's keep at it. Thank you very much. Over to you, Mr. Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Diana Akulu, for one of the most detailed grammarian reports that I have ever listened to. On to our final report. We will be listening or getting our final report from the counter, that is Toastmaster Emily Brenda Adore. Toastmaster Brenda, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, the General Evaluator. My dear record breakers, I'm lost in words. I look up to you in speaking and in leadership. You did a great job. When I grow up in speech, I want to be like you. Here comes my report. My first speaker made 2 use of and repeated, I didn't. The second speaker had also 2, Then third speaker, you made it. You didn't use any filler words inappropriately. Let me come to topic table speakers. My first table topic speaker didn't use any filler words appropriately. The second one used when he wanted to say that it has not been easy. The third and the fourth didn't use any. Thank you very much. Back to you, the general evaluator.
Oh, thank you, Toastmaster Brenda, for that. So, well, summarized report for the accountant role. It is time for me to also give my final report as the general evaluator. And regarding my experience with this meeting, I would say that it was well prepared, and some of the few things that you look out for, or some of the things that communicate preparedness, are maybe setting up a WhatsApp group for the different role takers to communicate, having a role takers meeting, and even opening the meeting before the stipulated time for the start of the meeting, that is about 6:30. And all of that was done. So that made it possible for us to have such a masterpiece of a meeting for today. I would like to thank the SAA, that is Brenda Picho, for those really summarized, those presentations, the PowerPoints that you were able to share for the different roles, and that is for describing the evaluators' roles, the timers, and also what the SAA is going to be looking out for. Sometimes it's not done, and when it is done perfectly, it is what you did, and it shows that you actually put in a lot of effort or some preparation in it. Regarding other things, that is from the SAA, we go on to the president. The president, one of the few things that we also look out for when the president is introducing or starting the meeting is her or he, okay, I'll say her looking out for the guests, welcoming the guests, and sometimes also talking to the guests, telling them to introduce themselves, though sometimes this is done at the end of the meeting. And I would like to thank our president, that is Shamim Nirere, for recognizing the guests themselves. To our Toastmaster of the day, well, this was a very good role, well done. You were energetic, you were enthusiastic, you were confident, and the way that you led the meeting showed that you were also well prepared. And I could say that you brought the meeting to life throughout the way that you handled the different sessions, that is from the speeches and transitioning onto the breaks and so on. You really, really showed that you were a master at what you do. So I would like to commend you for it, and hopefully you will be a Toastmaster somewhere in the near 2 or 3 days so that you can also improve on it. Now, onto the speakers that we had for today. The speakers are seasoned Toastmasters, right from the founders to the IPP, and even the evaluators themselves were also seasoned Toastmasters, and that showed in the different speeches that we had today. I generally do not have a whole lot to say about that, given that we've had evaluators giving them a few pointers where to improve and where not to improve. But I'll just say that one of the few things that we also have to look out for is the camera's positioning from the evaluators to the Toastmasters to the speakers. We have to remember that our visual presentation of our speeches also counts for how well we delivered them. So before we give the speeches, let's test out the different cameras. I know that maybe they can be blurry, and I can understand that, but even the position itself, that is something that we can work on. For the table topics, that was, I think, almost everything about this meeting was well done. And I would like to congratulate the table topics master on a job well done. The way that you conducted it, the topics that you chose were also congruent with the topic that we had for today. Right from the first speaker, usually we recommend having a Toastmaster to lead the session so that it sets the pace for the different, maybe the Toastmasters and the guests also take on the different topics. So we had the first speaker as a seasoned Toastmaster, and for the other 3 speakers, I would have hoped to have for you to encourage one of the guests or 2 of the guests to take on some of these speeches, 1 to 2 minutes. I believe that is something that can be done by a guest. The table topics is one of the sessions that a guest can take part in. And it's really important for us to give a first-hand impression or a memorable impression for the guests about what Toastmasters is all about. And apart from it being well done, maybe what that one guest would have done it well. Maybe I didn't really notice that there was a guest that did take part in that, in the table topic session. That will be my bad. For the evaluators, I do not have a whole lot to say regarding the evaluations themselves. Evaluations, for all those that may not know, we look out for the things that the Toastmaster or the speaker did well, and we also look out for the things that they should improve on. And then in conclusion, you tell them a summary of what they did well and so on. So that is usually called the sandwich method. I believe that maybe I've given a skewed summary of what it is, but that is the go-to method for evaluations. And if you were to notice, all the Toastmasters, all the evaluators that we had for today used that sandwich method very well. One thing that I could say about evaluations is that sometimes we do the evaluations extremely well, but we also forget to show the same amount of energy when we are introducing the Toastmaster. Remember that us as Toastmasters or as evaluators, we are the ones that are setting the pace for the speakers. They are going into a boxing round, you could say, and they need someone to hype them up so that they shake off their nerves. Right now, we had seasoned Toastmasters, some people with a whole lot of experience giving us speeches. But when we're looking at someone from level 1 who has just joined Toastmasters and they're nervous, the evaluator can do a very good job in that introduction to make sure that the speaker shakes off the nerves. So if you are an evaluator the next time, some of the evaluators did that well, but I would say that for some of them, it's an area for us to improve. Even I myself, I've found myself in those shoes so many times. For things that we had, the accounter and the timer, it really showed that they were attentive, and even with the glitches that we had, some of them were well handled by the SAA and the different members that were able to take on the roles when someone went offline or something. But could say that the grammarian gave a very detailed report. The accountant also gave a very summarized report, and the timer as well gave a good report for the time that she was on. The one thing that I can say is that remember that your report is for 1 to 2, I think it is 1 to 2 minutes. So as you're giving your report, do make sure that it is very well summarized for us to have that 1 to 2 minutes report. And I believe that we're left with 5 minutes. Overall, I enjoyed the meeting. There are not a whole lot of areas for me to say that I can critique heavily because this was well planned, well prepared, and it really showed. I hope that every one of us was able to enjoy this meeting. I do hope that no more glitches happen next time, but the way that you handled them, it showed real masterclass, a masterpiece of preparation. Over to you, the Toastmaster of the day.
Wow, thank you so much, Enoch, for leading us through the session. Thank you very much. I hope all Toastmasters and guests present agree when I say my team consisted of the finest of dads. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you to all our speakers, evaluator, our timer, accountant, grammarian, table topics master, a general evaluator. I am truly grateful to you all. There is no way I would have pulled off such a successful meeting without you all. This has been unforgettable and definitely a meeting we are going to ruminate on for a very, very long time. Now, we would like to acknowledge the best speakers for the prepared speech, table topics, session, evaluation. We'll now play some celebratory music to dance to as we give our SAA. I do hope that our tickets are ready.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. All right. So our speaker of the day is Harriet T. Harriet, congratulations. You are speaker of the day. SAA, are you able to put up Harriet's certificate?
Unfortunately, not with you sharing the audio, ma'am. You'd have to stop sharing so that I can share it, please.
Oh, sadly, the music has to count.
Yes, I'm sorry about that.
Oh, okay.
Zoom is still working on the whole sharing.
I'll keep humming though. Let's keep. So you can share, you can end the share.
There you go. Best speaker, Harriet O.C.
Great. Yes. Next is our base table speaker, Wanjiru Mary. Congratulations, Wanjiru, for winning Best Table Topics Speaker.
Madam Toastmaster, may I proceed with the certificate of our best evaluator?
I think we lost our Toastmaster of the evening. Please, let's proceed.
There we go. That's our best evaluator this evening, Joy Talemwa. Over to you, Madam President.
Patricia, are you back? I can see Patricia back on call. Okay. As we wait for Patricia, I would like all of us to unmute and join me, fellow Toastmasters and our dear guests. Join me as we give a huge record-breaking round of applause to our Toastmaster for a stellar evening. Kathy Tusubila, we appreciate you. You've done us proud. Indeed, you have broken the record. Congratulations, Kathy Tusubila. Can see her in the waiting room. Okay. At this point, I would like to just give us 1 minute to our guests. Please unmute. Kathy, are you back? Okay. I'd like to give our guests an opportunity to unmute and share with us where they are joining us from. Just 1 minute. Please unmute and share with us what you think of the meeting and where you're joining us from. Yes, please.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
This is Natasha Mwanguzi. Yes, this is Natasha Mwanguzi, Project Coordinator Assam from MOBS. I joined recently with Gavo Cup, and it's a friend who directed me to come and join this meeting. Was I believe the meeting was specifically about improving public communication skills. So I came on board so that I could also get some information on how to improve my public communication skills and be able to effectively give a message to the public in the most intellectual way. Thank you so much. I came later on, but then at least I've got something like from the last speaker that I tried to connect before, but I had failed to. So, but then in the last minutes I've spent, I appreciate and I send gratitude to all the speakers here who are doing all their best to teach or to also practice how to use interpersonal skills and how to be able to also make our public communication skills effective. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Natasha. You are welcome to Kampala Toastmasters Club. Any more guests, please unmute and share with us. Yes, Simon.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Simon Kawesi. I'm a team leader at Student Hub Limited. It's been an honor being a part of Toastmasters. I've always wanted to connect with the Toastmasters Club, and thank you, Shamim, for the invitation. I've learned a lot. I've been amazed by the speakers who eloquently speak without pauses in their speeches. The grammar is perfect. It's amazing. And I look forward to joining you guys for the subsequent meetings. I don't know what it takes to join, but I guess since I know Shamim, I'll be able to follow up on her on that matter. Thank you so much for having me. God bless you.
You're welcome, Simon. Thank you very much. Guests, any more guests like to share?
Hi, I am Lupolo Sana, connecting from Komani, South Africa. I really enjoyed the meeting and would like to comment what the VPPR is doing on Facebook, because I had a free time slot, so I just went to Facebook and set Toastmasters filtered event, and I was here. Thanks a lot for a great meeting.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Muksana from South Africa. I'm giving an opportunity to one more guest as we are time barred. Any more guests like to share with us?
Good evening, Toastmasters. My name is Doreen. I was invited by the evening's grammarian, Diana Kulu. She is my colleague. I work with her at DFCU Bank. Diana, thank you for the invite. I enjoyed myself. I am challenged, and I definitely look forward to joining the Toastmasters. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doreen. We are delighted, fellow Toastmasters and myself, for hosting you, our dear guests. Please plan to come again. Our next meeting will be on the 31st of August. We meet every second Tuesday of the month and every last Friday of the month. So at this point, we thanked our Toastmaster of the evening in her absentia, but right now she's back on call. I would like us to give one more round of applause to our Toastmaster of the evening, Patricia Tusubila. And as we wrap up, I would like to ask our ExCom and Toastmasters if there's any business communication. Before we can close, is there any additional events or club business would like to communicate?
Our next meeting, Madam President.
Yes.
Just to announce our next meeting, over to you.
Okay, thank you so much. Our next meeting will be on the 31st of August, the last Friday of the month. Attendance is absolutely free. Come ready to listen to awesome speeches. If you are a Toastmaster, you will be allowed to deliver a speech or give feedback, and we'll have a great meeting. Yes, thank you so much, SAA, for sharing. This screen is so beautiful. Oh my goodness. Thank you very much, friends, for joining. Thank you so much, Toastmasters. You made the evening awesome. Thank you very much, our dear guests. Please join us one more time. And I would, at this point, I would like to adjourn our meeting. And I invite you to unmute if you have a minute to just share something. We have ended our meeting. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, President. Please, it's the last Tuesday of the month. Eh?
Oh, yeah.
Excuse me, please.
Yeah.
I'm requesting for, since I'm a guest, I wanted to know more about Kampala Toastmasters Club. So I'm requesting if anyone could assist me, if maybe there's a WhatsApp group or how I can get more information about this club. Kindly please help me out.
Okay, that's noted, Natasha. We've taken down your contacts. Our personnel in charge of membership will get in touch with you, but at this point I can respond. Kampala Toastmasters Club meets every second Friday of the month and every last Tuesday of the month. And you are always welcome as a guest and a government member. And we also have other clubs around Kampala. You are welcome to attend. We have Ntinda Toastmasters Club, Bukoto Toastmasters Club, and many other clubs. Please, we will get in touch with you and share that information. Thank you very much.
Madam President, have a good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Have a good evening.
Done. Well done, KTM, and good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Farmer Timothy.
Now I may go back to the farm.
KTM. Good evening.
Good evening.
Diana, who is the young Toastmaster?
One upcoming Toastmaster is called Josiah. Say hello.
Hi, Josiah.
Say hello.
Hello.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, I'll end the meeting. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.